One of the most common misconceptions about foot position on your bike is where you want to have it to help you absorb impacts with your legs. And the traditional train of thought goes that you want to be on the ball of your foot because when you look at when you're landing from a jump, most of the time, which I'll get to here in just a second, but most of the time when you're landing a jump, you're landing on the ball of your foot first. And the thought process is that you're using your ankle to help absorb that impact, and so if you're on the ball of your foot on the bike, then you can do this as well. And that if you're in a midfoot position, then you're not able to use your ankle to absorb the impact, and that this is going to place extra stress on your knees or something like that, or not allow you to absorb the impact as effectively. But this morning when I was doing my workout, I had some standing broad jumps in it, and I realized something when I was doing my broad jumps. And that is that when I was landing on my heel. And I realized that you don't always land on the ball of your foot when you're jumping. When you're doing a broad jump, you are landing on your heel. And what's happening is that it's not whether you're landing on your heel or you're landing on the ball of your foot. It's whether you're able to get flat-footed in a balanced way, and then once you're flat-footed, you're able to effectively change levels and use your knees and your hips to change levels. And so again, you can see when you're doing a broad jump, just a nice easy broad jump, I'm going to land. I land on my heels. I land heel first, and then I roll to the ball of my foot to get flat-footed, and at that point I can then use my hips and my knees to effectively absorb the impact. And this is what you're seeing when you do a vertical jump. When you jump up, you're going to land on the balls of your feet, but you're using the balls of your feet to get you down to a flat-footed position in a balanced way so that you're then able to use your hips to land. And so anyways, it was just something I realized this morning that, wow, you don't always land on the ball of your foot. So this idea that you need to land, that you do land on the ball of your foot, and that this is a reason for needing to use the ball of the foot as or on the bike, it's just a false analogy. It's just another example of a false analogy that people use because they pick and choose instead of actually taking the totality of what we're really doing in all, with the different demands of movement, both in life and on the bike. And so again, absorbing impacts with your legs, you're not using your ankles to do that. You're using your ankles to simply get your foot down so that you can then use your legs, your knees, and your hips to absorb the impact. This is why when you're doing kettlebell swings, you don't want to be on the ball of your foot. You're in a flat-footed position because you're using your legs to absorb the energy from the swing, but you're doing it using your legs. You're not needing to use the ankles. So if you needed to use the ankles to absorb energy and impacts, then you would want to come up on the ball of your foot when you're doing swings. And that's not the best, most effective way to do that. And so, again, just understanding the difference of how the foot works in different situations, and then understanding how that applies to the bike is really what we want to do instead of just get stuck on tradition and doing things because that's the way that we've been told to do without actually looking critically at what the science and the movement principles and other stuff tell us. So anyways, just another argument for why the midfoot position is the best position for you on the bike, and also why you'd want a pedal that would optimize that midfoot position, which is what the Catalyst pedal that I designed was designed to do. It was to optimize that midfoot position. So anyways, point is, if you really want to absorb impacts effectively with your legs, then you need to have that midfoot position because that's what allows you to change levels and do that effectively. So again, getting out of these false analogies will help us move the cycling world forward. So anyways, you can find out more at pedalinginnovations.com. You can also find out more at bikejames.com. Got a lot of good information on both those sites about the pedal stroke and ways to train it and the truth about how you move on your bike. So anyways, hope you've enjoyed this tip, and I'll talk to you in the next one.